Are you heading into a remote work or digital lifestyle soon? Are you planning on it? Or are you living it right now? Have you overcome some of these challenges as we have, to have some advice also to share with the community? Now, on our channel, we talk a lot about how to travel longer and how to live and work from anywhere. So Cooper and I are currently based in the UK, as some of you who are familiar with our channel will know. We have lived and worked in the UK 3 times now. And one of the reasons we love being based here is because of the close access to Europe. We can jump on the Eurostar and go to Paris or Amsterdam. And where we live right now, we actually have an airport 20 minutes away. It's a really easy train commute, so we're very spoilt for choice. Whereas in Australia, that's my accent, in case you're wondering if I was maybe from New Zealand. In Australia, we have to really save for a long time and then take a chunk of time off in one hit. Minimum 4 weeks is really the best way to go if you want to travel to South America or Europe or America. It's a long way to go from Australia for just a week or 2. So with annual leave often a challenge, as well as money, we find being based in amongst an area where we can travel really, really beneficial. We are in the UK, and we'll drop some other links down below if you're interested, or link some videos here about our trip here and how we brought our dog over to the UK as well. We are remote working, or I'm remote working full time for a company in Australia. So we have been launched into this remote work lifestyle. Now, Cooper and I have been digital nomads on and off over the years, but this has been our first sort of full-time stint, and coming into a winter too where we were a bit restricted. We don't have transport here except for public transport, so we were a bit restricted in terms of being able to get around, but also having set times to have meetings with our people in Australia. So they're 10 time zones ahead in Australia compared with where we are in the UK. And there was a fair bit we actually discovered that we needed to get used to and to get our heads around in this remote working space. So I've had some questions from some of our Facebook group, and if you're not on the Facebook group, come and find us. We'll leave the link somewhere around here. Well, at the moment, at time of recording, I think we're nearly at 16,000 members, or just over 16,000 members, and that is a group of travel curious people who many of them are also digital nomads, remote workers, and also house sitting around the world as well. So there's been a lot of questions come in, and we have a lot of conversations around this whole remote work mindset and how to make your remote working time a success. Now, we thought it would all be smooth sailing, but as I alluded to a little earlier, there have been some challenges. There's been some things we needed to get used to. Some of those challenges included time zone differences, early meetings, cold weather, having to take the dog out in cold weather, having to design a routine around the dog needing a toilet break, which I better hurry up with this video because he does now. And also, funnily enough, being demotivated and feeling a little isolated. So we have 3 tips to share with you based on our experience, and I'd love to know what your experience is. Are you heading into a remote work or digital lifestyle soon? Are you planning on it? Or are you living it right now? Have you overcome some of these challenges as we have, to have some advice also to share with the community? So the first piece of advice that I would like to offer is maintaining a morning routine. Now, there's a lot of studies that really advocate for the importance of having a strong foundation, a strong start to your day. And this means a routine. As much as some people will strongly disagree with me, routine is key. And mornings are great for really setting yourself up for the rest of the day, setting yourself up for success. So Cooper and I have believed in this for a long time. So we always aim to get up at the same time each day, and we like to get up fairly early actually. It's harder in winter. It's much easier in the UK now when the actual light is up at 4:30 in the morning. I know some of you are freaking out about that, but we don't mind it because we wake up with the light. But in winter, I have had before, and I'll probably get it again this year, one of those sunrise lamps that actually has a light that gradually comes on and it helps you wake up. And that helps you get into your routine faster as well. So our morning routine will consist of coffee, for Cooper particularly, going for a walk with our little dog if we can. Sometimes I have very early meetings, but we will always start our morning mindfully and try and get some form of exercise or movement in to get the day going. And I always like to try, I try to maintain a routine too of just even writing down one thing that I'm grateful for or one thing that I'm looking forward to for the day, just to get my mindset, to shift my energy up, and to start in a more positive frame of mind. Because sometimes when you're tired and if one thing goes wrong or you open your emails and there's some news in there that makes you want to pull your hair out, it's not a great start to the day. But if you can consciously create a positive start to your day before turning on the news, before turning on your emails, this really goes a long way to actually creating that day that is sort of awesome. Now, the second tip that I will share in terms of positive mindset and productive mindset is really knowing yourself, what part of the day you are most productive in. Now, for me, I'm a morning person, so my best hours are spent in the morning getting stuff done, especially if I might need to write things or be involved in meetings where I need to positively contribute, helpfully contribute. So I try and use the mornings for my best work. And then I use the afternoons where I start to flag a bit, where I start to get a bit tired. I try to schedule my more admin-y tasks or some of the fun tasks that I can get done more easily. I know some people who say that they just cannot function in the morning and they will actually save their best working time or the tasks that they need to focus on for the afternoon, or sometimes even the evening when they say that they've clicked into gear. So it's really fascinating how different people work, but it's important to know how you work and when your most productive time is. And I also had a terrific tip taught to me. So how many of you, like me, might procrastinate on a task that isn't really your strength, but you need to really do? So for me, I'm not so strong in compiling data analytics and reporting and things. Like, I can do it and I know what I have to do, but I don't love it. And I'll procrastinate on that. A tip that was taught to me was actually do that first. Do that in your productive time, because actually you'll get it done 3 times faster because your brain's on. And you just focus on it, you get it out of the way. So whereas I'd sort of put those tasks to the times where I'm not most productive. So maybe there was a subconscious thing there where I thought, oh, I'll just push it forward in my diary until it needs to be done. But anyway, I found that tip actually does work. Just get it done and get it done in your most productive time. But yeah, the key here for mindset is know when you are most switched on and get your most important thing that you need to do that day done then. Now, our third remote working mindset hack, trick, discovery is around being demotivated or feeling isolated. So we found that this did happen to us and we were sort of surprised by this. We love working remotely. We love being back in England and exploring new neighborhoods and planning travel, but we found that we ended up feeling a bit isolated. And, you know, maybe part of that came with the big change that we had moving from Australia, where we had been established for 3 years this time, and coming back to the UK and pretty much starting again. You know, we're in a new neighborhood, we're in a new town, we don't know many people around here. So just really that whole change piece, starting again. We are aware that that might have been part of it, but we also talk to friends and community in our Facebook group and on our blog and YouTube channel about this exact situation. And I think it's human nature, isn't it? You go in and out of feeling, you know, high vibe, but then other times you can just feel a bit down and lonely. So we have been quite proactive in recent weeks to overcome this challenge. So the routine piece, going back to my first point, the routine piece, not just in the morning, but for your full day. Here comes my dog roaring around the corner in just a minute. The routine piece is really important for maintaining your vibe and your motivation. The second piece is really getting face time with people. We can be online all we like and talk to people in chat and things, but it's still not the same. So we've been making a conscious effort to find out what's going on in our neighborhood, to meet new people, to show up for ourselves and go and meet people at networking. But also we're looking at things that we can create ourselves. You know, there's some meetups for creatives around where we live that, there's a lack of rather. And we're considering maybe creating something like this, creating a meetup for creatives, setting something up, where there is something that you're lacking, why not just make it? Why not just create the opportunity? So we're intentionally seeking ways to have FaceTime with people, that in-person contact. And where you can't do that in person, it's very easy when you're remote working to sort of shy away from meetings or only show up when you have to. But I've actually found it's a really lovely way to start the day, turning up, even though I'm very well aware that I look like the 6 a.m. version of myself turning up to meetings, and I'm like on the big screen in boardrooms. But luckily I know the people that I'm in meetings with, and it's just a running joke. They probably feel just as sort of, I guess, ragged at the end of their day anyway, because they're coming to the. So if you do feel like, or if you're acknowledging that maybe loneliness or demotivation is an issue, and having that FaceTime, having a bit of a laugh with people, don't shy away. It's especially coming out of COVID, there were a lot of studies that showed that a lot of us retreated. It's a mindset that can become the norm. So don't shy away from people, and especially for the introverts amongst us, it's easy to end up in your shell, right? So if you do feel like, or if you're acknowledging that maybe loneliness or demotivation is an issue, consider whether it's time that you found other ways to be around people a little bit more. So there are 3 key learnings around mindset and remote working. We'll be publishing more of these tips over the coming weeks, along with some lovely travel destination experiences to hopefully inspire you to travel more and to live and work from wherever you desire in the future. It absolutely is possible. And if you have any questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. Drop us a line. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. See you next time.